We decide where we will go. Right here, this team, right now, every step.
Splashes it through. Oh, what a big shot.
Wear them down with our effort. Wear them down with the consistency of it.
Virginia's going to win anyway. Unbelievable. Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by Stellar One Bank and by UVA Health System and by Geico and by the Virginia Athletics Foundation.
On this edition of Cavalier Sports Weekly,
it's a very talented class. It met specific needs, that we had.
Here's a lob pass going the other way to Anderson, who flushes it through with a reverse jam.
Welcome to Cavalier Sports Weekly. I'm Doug Browman from the men's basketball team. We have a lot of great highlights on today's show, but first, let's take a look at our highlights against Clemson.
He's into the front court, passes it on to Anderson, knifes his way through the lane and lays it into a left-hand finger roll. Justin Anderson, a couple of quick shots right out of the gates. Feeds it to Evans. Evans goes behind the back. He sends it down low to Mitchell. Mitchell spins off Booker and lays it off the window with a reverse layup and a nice move. Speeding his way past Booker and finding the opening to put the Hoos ahead again by two. Takes it out to Mitchell. Cycling around the horn. Far wing left now to Harris. He zips the pass down low to Mitchell, who lays it in up close off the window. What a pass from Joe to set Mitchell up.
No, I was concerned because of our lack of size and interior players, and to come out and play that kind of ball on both ends of the floor certainly was good. And again, to get off to that kind of start, well, it really helped. And the guys, you could just see they fed off of each other, and had a lot of good individual plays. But it was really it's fun to watch.
Passes it off to Harrison, back to Filer. Filer's converged upon, and his shot blocked from behind. Anderson comes away with it. He's into the front court, crosses over, feeds out to Harris. Harris attacks down the lane, puts up a soft shot underneath, and floats it up and good. He just flipped that one right in.
Again, whenever that ball got on there, really swarm, and because we needed to play with good position to help. And then there's play on the glass.
I never thought I'd be playing the five. When I was recruited as a small forward, and now I'm playing 40 minutes a game as a center. I'm able to use my athleticism now to frustrate guys like that, and so it's all just a blessing in the long run.
We focus on eliminating catches to Jennings, and I thought we did a good job just executing.
Cavaliers on the other end of the floor trying to get their offense going again. Here's Anderson pulling up, and he splashes through about a 17-foot jump shot. Another turnover on the other side. They try to send it into Booker, but Anderson stepped into the pass, and he comes away with a steal. On the other end of the floor, Barnett feeds to Harris. Harris pulls into his man, puts the shot up and in with a foul.
Coach talked at the beginning of the game about servanthood, one of our pillars, and just guys playing to serve one another. We're obviously a very unselfish team, but tonight I thought in particular we did a good job of really sharing the ball and giving up good shots for great shots.
We got off to a big lead, and Clemson was certainly out of sorts, but they just kept playing, and I just think that was probably our most unselfish game we've played all year.
And our opening frame from the JPJ. Harris in the corner. He launches up a three, and this time he knocks it down. That's the first three ball that went down for the Hoos tonight. They start knocking those down. Look out. Cavaliers continue to try and pour it on. Long cross-court pass to Jesperson. His three-pointer splashes through the nylon. Oh, right now it is suddenly raining threes, and Clemson doesn't know what hit them. It's 35-10. The Cavaliers taking it to a beleaguered Tiger group that uses a timeout here. From head coach Tony Bennett, crossing over on his man. Now feeds it out to the corner. Nolte all alone for three, and he tickles the twine again. Three consecutive three-pointers, and Virginia has stretched it to a 28-point lead. Filer's defended by Evans. Crossing over, he's on the far wing right. Looking to pass it off. He'll get it off to Roper. Contested three-pointer off the mark. Mitchell fights for the rebound and comes away with it. lot of work to do, trailing 39-13.
They're making it tough for Virginia.
There's a pull-up jumper from three as Harris drills it from the far wing right. And converging and leaving with no options. Jesperson drives baseline on the other side, reverses the layup and lays it off the window and good. Quick in there with those hands, and he's got that athleticism. That makes him tricky. He's going to come in with a steal. This one a little easier. He takes off in transition and flushes it through with a tomahawk slam and comes by giving high fives to his teammates.
I thought we really came out, started it with great intensity on defense. We were flying around. Akil did a good job.
Crazy starts happening in the final 14 minutes. Nolte feeds to Harris. Harris attacks down the baseline, lays it in with a foul.
They come out and execute the way we did on both ends. Hopefully we can build off of it going into Maryland.
When we play with a lot of energy, a lot of intensity like we did tonight, just things seem to open up and we get easy buckets and the game just, it makes it so much easier. Once we start scoring inside and guys are knocking down threes and we're getting steals and we could just start rolling.
Now it's Jesperson feeding to the corner. A wide open three and Justin Anderson bangs it home from the near side. He's defended on the outside by Sullivan. Now behind the back, back to the last to Mitchell, who stuffs it down with another dunk. Well, razzle-dazzle, as you like to say, Big Ten.
It was the same pass that I made at Virginia Tech. Keel's man helped up, and I just had a feel that he was right there, so I threw it right over the left shoulder, and he was there, and he had a tough finish. So I was very excited.
Joe Harris takes the feed. He kicks it out to Evans. Evans slashing into the lane. Kicks it out to Nolte. Three-pointer all the way and good. Evan Nolte drills another. He's got 2 3-pointers tonight. Barnett going to fire up another three, and he hits another. He hasn't touched the rim yet. Could use a little more of that the rest of the way. Here's a lob pass going the other way to Anderson, who flushes it through with a reverse jam.
The young fella showing off a little bit in this.
That dunk was pretty sweet. It'll probably be sports winner in the top 10, so respect to him. I respect that.
Maybe if you look back into the replay, like you can see me running up the court telling Bub, like, look for this back screen, look for this, watch this, I'm going up for it. And I didn't think he heard me, so I kept repeating it. And then I just like, all right, I'm just gonna go off the back screen. And I didn't even tell Paul to set the back screen. He just had a heady play, and he set a good back screen. I went flying off, and Bub put it there. I didn't even mean to like try to dunk it backwards to be fancied. I mean, that was just the best way I could do it, and it was a good momentum boost for our team, and it was a lot of fun.
I always talk to him about being continuous and efficient, and when he does that, his energy is so good for us, and his physicality, I think that's contagious, and our guys play hard when we're playing well.
12-2, and didn't look back. Pass for Browman off down to the near side where Rogers will feed to the corner. Barnett fires away from three, and he hits again. It's the third trifecta of the night for Taylor Barnett.
Another great atmosphere. Students all coming out in full force, which is a lot of fun playing in front of them. And we definitely feed off of the crowd.
After losing to the same group by 15 earlier this season, they come back with an emphatic haymaker tonight in front of the home fans, winning this one by a final score of 78-41 as the final horn sounds.
This portion of Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back to the show. This week, our women's tennis team hosts the ITA national team indoors at the Boar's Head Sports Club. Here's a preview of the event.
One of our 2 national championships, even though it's not an NCAA championship, it's an ITA championship. It only gets more and more exciting. You can do this for many, many years, and it's what I've been telling everyone, is for the kids and the teams and the coaches and the fans. This is one of the most special events that they're going to have in their entire college experience. The support that we have in order to be able to host this. Amanda Rails was a former player here that's just done a great deal of service for our program in terms of being generous. And then also the Boar's Head Sports Club, James Niederer and his entire staff. They take the teams that are 9 through 16 and they essentially draw those teams. They don't seed them. So it opens up a little bit of randomness in terms of how you can be placed. Honestly, USC is a very good team. They're ranked where they're ranked for a reason. I think we're one of those teams that's right up there with them. So it's a pretty solid section, along with A&M and North Carolina in our little section. So certainly I look at that and I see that that's a strong area. But the reality is you got 16 teams in the entire country here, so every match is going to be really tough. Every team is really good. What I like about USC, I like the way they play. So I think that will bring kind of that camaraderie that we need. Have a good spirited match. But look, they're having to come across country. They have beautiful weather. They're playing outside. we get to play indoors. So if you're going to catch them, this is really the place to do it, at your home and on indoor courts. So I have a lot of respect for their team, but I know that our team is ready, and maybe this indoor situation can really help us. It's really the beginning of the year for us. I wish we had maybe had a couple more matches under our belt, but not playing the kickoff weekend is part of that dynamic. But we had a great start with VCU in our first dual match last weekend. We had a tournament before that was a good start for our program. But look, the fans that have been diehards for us, they're going to see some new kids, which is neat. We have essentially, at the very top of the lineup, we've been playing 3 first-year players, and they've done a great job. So Julia Elbaba, Stephanie Nauta, Macy Epstein, they've been way up there, and they've also done a great job in the doubles. So you're going to see a lot of those young kids. Great thing is you got a couple or 3 seniors, 3 fourth years that are going to have their last go at this tournament, and they've been leading us as well. So we've got a pretty good team in terms of rounded. But again, I like the leadership from our older kids, but I also like how the young kids have come in and also led, not just on the court, but off the court. So I think our fans will be really pleased. I think they'll feel a team that they can really cheer for, and the team embraces that. Maybe doesn't make them nervous. It's actually a positive. So I hope our fans will come out and give us a lot of energy.
This portion of Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by UVA Health System. We're for fans everywhere, and we're for the Cavaliers.
Welcome back. Men's lacrosse begins their season next week. We caught up with head coach Dom Starja for a look at this year's team.
We're a program that's, generally graduates good players year in and year out, and so we're sort of used to doing it. But at the same time, you don't graduate Steele Stanwyck and Chris Bacalip together in the same year. So we're certainly in transition at the attack position. But we've got a couple of good young players that have been, anxious for an opportunity and I think ready to step up. We could play Matt White there, but we'd also like to see Matt in the midfield. I think he presents some real matchup problems when we bring him in through the box. Mark Cochran is spent all fall at the attack after having played sort of somewhat on the attack and some in the midfield his first 2 years. He seems like a different guy right now, and so I think he's ready to step up and assume a big piece of responsibility. Another young player, new player, James Pinnell, I think is going to be someone that's going to make an early impression on everybody. Very powerful kid, can really kind of bring it against the pole and get his own and create some offense for us. So I see him getting some minutes. We have Nick O'Reilly back with us now in his senior year. He's actually a redshirt junior right now, and he had a good fall and more the quarterback type for us, somebody that plays at X and kind of split the both hands with his head up. And Owen Van Arsdale, Owen who played some important minutes for us throughout 2012, can play a variety of positions for us. One of our smartest players, a little bit bigger and stronger right now, ready to assume a little more responsibility.
Losing Steele is a big loss for us for sure, but I think this is definitely a very good opportunity for a lot of guys to step up, and even just looking around in practice, I think you see a little hop in everyone's step because everyone realizes that there's a legit opportunity for them to get on the field.
I think the last couple of years we've kind of settled into that slower role, and I think that's the team we were at the time, but I think definitely now we can kind of take the brakes off and just be one of those teams, especially with the new rules. I think they suit us well, so hopefully we can get up and down the field, run on some teams and force a lot of shots on Cage, and hopefully that will play into our hands.
Here comes the shocker. Right down Rugby Road.
Far wing now, cross Cage pass, finding Rob Emery, lock and load, buries it. Rob Emery, the Cali Cannon.
We do have sort of experience and athleticism in the midfield. I think we're a team that can take advantage of these new rules. That's our goal, is to be able to create more offense going up the field. We're hopeful that it'll put the midfielder back in the game, and that if you have middies that can play both ends of the field that you're willing to leave out there, and we have those guys, and Chris LaPierre and Rob Emery and Ryan Tucker and Carl Walrath and some of these guys that we have middies that are capable of playing at both ends, and so going from defense to offense, leaving them out there to play is sort of the plan going into the season. Part of the way you create transition offense is by your long sticks picking the ball up and having that mindset of going up the field quickly and attacking the field. We have those guys in Greg Danseglio and Tanner Ottenbright and Scott McWilliams. Our expectation is that we're going to be good at the defensive end, and I think we're going to need to be while a young new offensive group kind of gets their feet on the ground. We have 4 goalies on the team, and they're all good in their own way. Dan Marino, our freshman goalie, we certainly think that he's a competitor for the position. And so having Dan out there in practice on an extended basis, Rody Heller got a lot of repetition, a lot of work with us with the starting unit in the fall and did a nice solid job. Connor McGee is a senior, he's put his time in the program. Matt Robertson, it'll be interesting to see what happens over the early weeks of practice. I can tell you that this is a really hard-working group. I thought we had probably as productive a fall as we've had in recent years that I can recall anyway. I think we're sort of a powerful group in the middle of the field. That's where our sort of experience and leadership is. These are guys that, again, want to take advantage of the new rules. There's a lot of guys in our program that want to go. You hardly ever overlook Virginia lacrosse, but I feel like we've had a little bit of an edge throughout the fall that hopefully we can put to good use come springtime.
Coming up after the break. This portion of Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by the Virginia Athletics Foundation. You are the foundation.
Welcome back. This week was National Signing Day for our football team. Let's take a look at the new Wahoos that will play for head coach Mike London.
It's truly a class that is filled with quality depth and a lot of players that can provide opportunities to play right away. It met specific needs, that we had, particularly at the offensive line position. Whether it's schools or hometowns, there's 8 different states or schools that are represented in this class. As I said, 5 offensive linemen. The last 2 commits with Eric Teklo from Richmond, Virginia, and George Addison was something that we knew was going to probably go down to the wire. But as it goes, the last day before the signing date, you're either on the exhilarating end of that, or you're on the exasperating end of not being able, to land particularly 2 really good players, and particularly 2 players of need.
The University of Virginia.
Parade Magazine All-American running back. It's in everybody's best interest that young men like that come in, that they have a chance to contribute right away. And when that young man comes and he has, hopefully he has success here, then others who are looking can look at him and see that, he came to Virginia, he had success. 3 wide receivers, 2 in particular, Keon Johnson and Andre Leverone, who are size receivers, athletic. The younger brother of Perry Jones, who's probably an all-everything utility guy. I think he fits nicely with this class. And then 2 quarterbacks. Corin Cutler that played for Ocean Lakes, he tore his ACL, even though in spite of that injury, I'm still committed to him. We've categorized 2 players as skilled, big skill athletes, Max Vales and Zach Bradshaw. And then the defensive line position, I think there's 3 linemen there. And Dante Wilkins, a young man that was the player of the year in his region on offense and defense. I think that's a pretty significant accomplishment for him. 3 linebackers, one was LeChaston Smith, who's already here, who's a mid-year admit. We think he'll get used and get acclimated to what's going on, in the culture here at Virginia. 3 defensive backs. They're a very talented group, and we'll see how things shake out with the players that we have, in our systems and in the type of scheme that Coach Tenuta will employ. But we're glad to have those 3, that's for sure. There are playing opportunities, for all these players that I mentioned, but specifically you look at what Malcolm did at his career at Fork Union. I think he had like 9 interceptions and 6 of them for touchdowns. we're excited about this class and the depth that it brings. We're looking forward to having them come to Charlottesville. You can exhale for a brief moment, and you got to go again, because now the 2014s are the target.
Thanks for watching Cavalier Sports Weekly. We have some great home games this week, so come out and support the Cavaliers. Wrestling will host Old Dominion at 1 p.m. at Mem Gym. Men's basketball hosts Virginia Tech Tuesday night at JPJ. Swimming and diving will compete in the Cavalier Invitational Friday and Saturday at the AFC. We'll be back next week with more highlights and great stories from Virginia athletics. I'm Doug Browman, and until next time, go Hoos!
Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by Stellar One Bank. In banking, there's good, better, and stellar. Visit Stellar One Bank today to see the difference. And by UVA Health System. We're for fans everywhere, and we're for the Cavaliers. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by the Virginia Athletics Foundation. You are the foundation.